So today's talk is a 20-minute talk entitled Fitness Myths Busted, and I'm very excited to hear about it. Our speaker today is our manager for our HP Fitness Center. I think you all know him, Jason Tagle. Welcome.
Man's greatest invention may not have been the printing press or the personal computer, but the milkshake. Sometimes there's nothing like a rich, thick, and creamy milkshake to satisfy your sweet tooth. One day, I stumbled upon a milkshake recipe for one of the top 5 fast food chains in the world. What I discovered is there are 59 ingredients in strawberry flavor, and not a single strawberry. To my surprise, it's all a disguise. Theatricality and deception are powerful agents to the uninitiated. This is especially true in the fitness industry. Like before and after pictures. Did you know the secret behind transformation photos is they do it in reverse? You get an in-shape fitness model to pose for the after picture first, then let their physique go downhill for the before picture. This right here is from the documentary film Bigger, Stronger, Faster. They were showing that before and after pictures can be taken on the same day. By using all sorts of camera tricks and photo editing, you can completely manipulate the body. You're probably wondering, do people fall for this? And the answer is yes. For 20 years, I've been pursuing this thing called fitness. I spent a lot of that time feeling another F word. Not the one you're thinking of. Frustrated. I felt frustrated, misguided, and misled by all the misinformation out there. Such as if I skipped a meal, muscle would fall right off the bone. Or if I ate past a certain hour at night, gremlins would give me love handles. Of course, none of this made sense, so I stopped consuming popular fitness media and studied how the body actually works. I wanted answers. I wanted the truth. Today, I'm busting 3 of the most common fitness myths because I know you can handle the truth. Myth number 1, crunches are the key to a flat midsection. By far the most common question I get as a fitness professional is, what exercise can I do to reduce the belly? I'm sorry to be the one to tell you that abdominal exercises will not get rid of the mid. In fact, you don't get to choose where you lose fat from. This is primarily determined by your genetics. I know that's not what you want to hear. Boo-hoo, life is not fair. And you can express your dissatisfaction, or you can take action. If you want flatter abs, you need to get leaner overall. To do that, we need to spend our workout time more wisely. If you only train your abs, you're missing out on the fat-burning potential of all the other muscle groups: legs, back, chest, shoulders, and arms. Legs are the big calorie burners because they're about 50% of your total muscle mass, which is why a lot of cardio exercises utilize the legs, and sometimes the upper body. Where cardio falls short is that it's often done at a low intensity for long periods. Why this is not optimal for fat burning has to do with muscle fibers. I know these are not exactly Pixar graphics. What I'm trying to show you is that a muscle is made up of a bundle of fibers. The number of muscle fibers you recruit during physical activity is dependent on the intensity of activity. Basically, your muscles are lazy and will do the least amount of work to get the job done. Low-intensity muscle contractions only recruit a small number of muscle fibers. The analogy is if I move several of these chairs, one by one, not a very efficient task, but it only takes one person to do it. To lift this couch, we need two people. Essentially, as we increase the demand, we have to increase the supply. The supply are more muscle fibers. This is why resistance training has a fat-burning advantage over traditional cardio exercise. By increasing resistance, you increase fat burning. Of course, we can't ignore the other side of the coin, which is nutrition. No matter how hard you train, if you don't get your diet together, all of that hard work will never show. I only have 3 rules when it comes to nutrition. The first rule is to stop thinking about foods as good or bad, healthy or unhealthy, and to start thinking about foods as either satisfying or unsatisfying. If what you eat contains just the right mix of nutrients your body needs at that moment, it'll be satisfying. I only want you to eat foods that satisfy you. The second rule is do not let serving sizes determine how much you should eat. When you order items off a menu, for example, the portions are typically one size fits all. But I look around this room and I don't see 2 people who are identical. So it's a mistake to rely on visual cues to tell you how much to eat. You have to use your intuition to stop eating the moment you're satisfied. Don't wait until you're so full you can't move. If you prefer to crunch numbers, you can use the body gem to measure how many calories you need per day. When you burn fat, you breathe it out as carbon dioxide. So by breathing into the body gem for 10 minutes, it measures your oxygen consumption and carbon dioxide production, which gives us your daily calorie budget. And for a small fee, we do this at the fitness center if you want to. The third rule is to eliminate trigger foods from your environment. What do I mean by trigger foods? Girl Scouts will hate me for this. Trigger foods are foods that once you start, you can't stop. And you won't stop until it's all gone. You put a box of Thin Mints in front of me, and I will make it disappear. Trigger foods open the floodgates to overconsumption. If you want to stay on track, you got to cut back. What if you're already lean? What's the best way to build your core? The function of the core muscles is to stabilize your spine to transfer power to your limbs. So the best core exercises challenge spinal stability. You can do this with Pilates, or you can hack certain gym exercises to emphasize core stability. Like when you do a standing cable press with one arm. The abs prevent your spine from going into extension, and the obliques prevent your waist from twisting. When you turn around and do more of a pulling motion, same idea, only now your lower back muscles prevent your spine from going into extension. What if you take a dumbbell or kettlebell and do an overhead press with one arm? If you completely relax, you would fall to one side. What's keeping your torso upright are all the muscles along the side of your spine. I realize showing you these exercises is not as effective as doing it hands-on. So if you want to get on a consistent training schedule, I do offer one-on-one personal training at the fitness center for a fee. Can you isolate the lower abs? Not a chance. The abdominal muscles originate at the rib cage and insert at the pubic bone of the pelvis. They're divided by tendons, the white part, which gives you the six-pack or eight-pack. When you flex your spine, your abs don't know whether the rib cage is coming toward the pelvis or the pelvis is coming toward the rib cage. All it knows is that it's contracting. It's shortening to pull the two ends together. As it contracts, the entire muscle is working top to bottom. There is no such thing as a lower ab exercise. If you want your lower abs to show, you need to get very lean. For women, that's around 15% body fat. For men, that's around 10% body fat. The key to abs is to get as lean as possible. Myth number 2, muscle weighs more than fat. This one drives me up the wall. Pop quiz. What weighs more? 1 pound of rocks or 1 pound of paper? They weigh exactly the same. A pound is a pound is a pound. 1 pound of fat weighs the same as 1 pound of muscle. The difference is fat is bulkier than muscle tissue and takes up more space under the skin. In fact, 1 pound of 1 pound of fat is about the size of a small grapefruit, whereas a pound of muscle is the size of a tangerine. So you can let go of the notion that gaining muscle will bulk you up. Muscle is not bulky. It's actually very sleek. If you've ever been to a science museum for the human body, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Pure muscle tissue is very sinewy. Some people say that working out turns fat into muscle, and if you stop working out, your muscles turn into fat. Neither is true, although it appears that way. Muscle and fat are completely different tissues. You can't turn one into the other. I could turn water into wine before I turn fat into muscle. They are not interchangeable. They simply increase or decrease in size depending on the stimulus. It's like inflating or deflating a balloon. When you overeat, your fat cells inflate, and when you undereat, your fat cells deflate. Muscles shrink or expand based on physical demand. Use it or lose it. So what about coaches who used to tell athletes not to lift weights, thinking the extra muscle would slow them down? They finally got wise because the opposite is true. Muscles move your skeleton, so having a higher muscle to fat ratio gives you more power for your body weight. Depending on your sport, that could be a huge advantage. If you're not an athlete, resistance is still important because we tend to lose muscle mass and bone density as we age. So even if your body weight stays the same, your body fat percentage might creep up on you over time. If you want to make the shift, you gotta lift. The third and final myth is also one of the worst pieces of nutrition advice. Raise your hand way up if you've ever been told that in order to lose body fat, you need to eat 6 small meals a day to keep your metabolism high. This is wrong. And here's the premise behind 6 meals a day. Every time you eat, your metabolism increases a small amount to process the food you just ate into usable nutrients. There's chewing, there's stomach digestion, and everyone's favorite topic, eliminating waste. The food you eat contains usable energy that we measure in calories, but you burn off some of those calories as heat. The fitness industry hijacked this tidbit to make you believe that eating frequently or grazing throughout the day will jumpstart your metabolism. What they fail to mention is the metabolic boost you get is only about 10% of the calories you eat, and it's proportionate to the size of your meal. A small meal gives you a small spike. A big meal gives you a big spike. An all-you-can-eat buffet gives you a really big spike. None of this matters because the calories you burn through consumption are never enough to override the calories in the food itself, which makes the whole eat frequently to lose weight recommendation ludicrous. 6 meals a day has the same net effect as 3 meals a day if they add up to the same calorie total. So it doesn't matter how you divide your meals. What matters is how much food you consume overall. But what happens if you don't eat enough? Does your body go into starvation mode and shut down your metabolism? First of all, what is metabolism? Metabolism is the process by which your body converts the food you eat into usable energy. Your metabolic rate is the number of calories your body uses per day. Keep in mind, your calorie needs don't all need to be met by food. We have fuel stored on our bodies, as I'm sure you're all familiar with. Lean tissues, such as your muscles and vital organs, eat up calories, but so does body fat. When you lose body fat, you have less tissue to maintain. So your metabolism slows down only because losing body fat lowers your daily calorie needs. Your metabolism hasn't shut down, your body is just more efficient as you get leaner, which is why getting in shape and staying in shape is a marathon, not a sprint. Ladies and gentlemen, remember these words. If you want to be fit, you must commit. Quick summary, then we'll do Q&A. Do ab exercises burn belly fat? No way. The key to abs is to get leaner overall. Train your whole body with resistance and make sure your diet is right on the money. Does muscle weigh more than fat? Impossible. A pound is a pound is a pound. Muscle takes up less space and makes you more athletic. Is starvation mode a myth or reality? It's a myth. The only reason your metabolism slows down as you get leaner is because there is less fat tissue to maintain. As long as you keep your calorie intake down, you'll keep your body fat down. There's no secret, there's no magic bullet. If you want to be fit, you must commit. Listen, fitness is not just about upping the weight, upping the reps, or upping your steps. It's about upping your wisdom. What I'm telling you is this. I've upped my wisdom, so up yours. Thank you.